Hello, chat. How's it going? Let me do the usual thing, putting chat on the chat. I'm putting chat on chat. Here we go. This is what I set you guys, so when I look at this direction, you know that I'm actually glaring at you. There's a lot of interesting things happening. See, I find this to be quite peculiar. After the Rittenhouse trial, the media was quiet about the things. Like, they didn't insist in their stupidity. But after this particular one, they're incredibly upset. And they're blaming independent content creators. They're blaming TikTok videos. They're blaming YouTubers. I believe Amber's story is the same, is that she's going to appeal the trial. She's probably going to appeal it because, according to sources, she can't afford to pay the $10 million. But also due to the fact that she considers that the jury was tainted by the media campaign. I mean, it's possible, but she's going to have to prove that. Like, she's going to have to show evidence on why is it that the initial jury was busy watching TikTok videos. And even then, like, how does she know they weren't watching MSNBC? So it's very interesting. The media is upset because you have content creators like Rikieta, like Nick, having 140,000 viewers. I mean, that scares the living hell out of the media. And it's not just Nick. There were people that had millions of viewers. I believe Law and Order or something like that, the channel, an independent channel, also got a lot of views. This didn't happen during the Rittenhouse trial, which is why I think that the media isn't as upset during the Rittenhouse trial as we see them now. I think they're worried about the competition, really. Like, the first time that YouTube started dominating the media in numbers, they triggered the adpocalypse. So you have the Wall Street Journal attacking PewDiePie for saying gamer words, and because of that, advertisers pulled away from YouTube, and YouTube started cracking down on independent content creators, and then YouTubers noticed that the algorithm has changed because the authoritative sources are being pushed, and that's when YouTube started going poorly for independent sources, right? Like, the corporations are now dominating the platform. There's two types of content creators. You have the what do they call it? Like Susan Wojcicki, priority creators. That's what they call priority creators, which are the corporations. And then it's the other people, right? The little people. So now the media is noticing that yet again they're losing viewers, and word is that they might go after super chats. They might say, okay, well, YouTube, if there's a controversial event happening, like if there's like a trial or something that the media wants priority, they want to cover it, don't allow people to do super chats. Like, that's how they want to do it, because initially they went after the ads, and right now, like when the Johnny Depp trial started, many people couldn't cover it because they would get demonetized. YouTube actually has this thing where you're not allowed to talk about sex scandals. I don't know why. Bizarre, but like, if you talk about sex scandals, you get demonetized. And it's not just the money. It's like, if you're demonetized, YouTube doesn't promote your video, because, like, why would they? They're not making money out of it, right? So they prefer promoting monetized videos. So at the beginning of the Amber Heard trial, like, a lot of people got demonetized just by mentioning the name Amber Heard in the video. Like, if you said the name, your video will get demonetized. There is an algorithm which actually translates everything you say. Like, every word you say gets translated. So it is what it is. But yeah, Mr. Obvious got hacked. I didn't know that. I'll talk to him. I have him on Twitter. I'm really sad to hear. Like he keeps getting so much bad luck recently. It's not even funny. So anyway, yeah, they accused the little guy of making money. You know what's interesting? It's like, the reason the media in my country is called vultures is due to the fact that every time there's a tragedy, the media is going to be there to film that tragedy. Like when you have first response team and everyone is there trying to help the victims, the media is filming it, and then they're like, okay, let's watch this old lady getting ran over by a car in slow motion right after the commercial break. So it's kind of funny that it's the media that's concerned now. It's like, oh, well, the little guy is making money. Oh, how dare they? You know, like, during COVID, when the media was fear-mongering like a boss, were there no ads? Did they not put publicity when talking about grandma dying? I mean, let's cut the crap as if making money is something immoral. You do realize that before social media, people just had small newspapers. Like, people would publish what they thought in a small newspaper that was usually, like, citywide. And people would buy the newspaper. And if a lot of people bought it, then the newspaper from a local paper became a more expanded one. And, you know, eventually, if a lot of people bought it, it became a national paper. That's how the media started. Amber Heard is 2.5 Joe Rogan. Yeah, I mean, the whole Joe Rogan thing, I find it laughable that the media goes, it's like, oh my god, people are talking about celebrity gossip and they're spreading misinformation. Like, who the fuck cares? Celebrity gossip. Celebrity gossip. Who cares if people are spreading misinformation? Who gives a shit? But my god, like, oh, they're wrong. They're talking about it and they're wrong. They're not informed. It's celebrity fucking gossip. Why do you need to be informed to talk about celebrity gossip? Although I will tell you this, I have seen independent content creators far more informed than the media, which was saying that Joe Rogan took horse pills. Like, honestly, you know, you can say, oh, well, it's technically accurate. Yeah, it's like saying that I took engine coolant if I drank water. You know, it's literally in that area. So you're telling me that the media cares about misinformation? No, they care about gatekeeping is what they care about. Like, they don't want independent content creators to be able to compete with them. So, yeah, let's see. Not a single person was censored for spreading the proven fake news that defamed the man. Oh, well, it's not even about that. It's also, if you think about Brett Kavanaugh, you know, like the media was going around and saying, oh, well, there's so many TikTok videos and YouTube experts that were picking on the body language of Amber Heard. And like, that's just, how did they put it? Not misinformation, not conspiracy. Basically, like, that's just crazy talk, right? Like, you can't tell about a person just by looking at their face. And I want to remind people that this is what the media did during the Kavanaugh hearings. Like, you have official mainstream media outlets just putting the face of Kavanaugh and saying it's because he makes this face, he must be guilty. And they're like, a lot of, look, you know, like when you put a picture like this, I mean, the media does this all the freaking time. Every single time, right? Like, you'll notice when, oh, look, Rolling Stone, look at this. Brett Kavanaugh instigated bar fight after blah, blah, blah. And look what picture they're putting, right? Why powerful men get more sympathy than women? So whatever the media doesn't like a person, they will find like the most uncharitable picture they can, and they will use that because they know body language matters for people. And when it's a person that they like, for example, Joe Biden, like he put, like they would get pictures with him wearing aviator glasses in order to show that he's more young and hip. Like, the media does this all the freaking time. It's not independent content creators that do. No, like the press does it. And there were even articles in the press. I think like Forbes did it. It's like, oh, well, because of his face, like, he looks guilty. And it's like, okay, you know. And that was a celebrity gossip. Like, that was actually politics. That was an important, like nominating a judge on the Supreme Court. It's an important political decision that can have decades of ramifications. YouTube actually makes 30% of super chats. Would they really risk another revenue source for woke points and ESG? Also, I want Amber Heard casted as Mayo Honda committed war crimes in Ukraine when Zelensky BIPOC is filmed. Biopic? What is biopic? I also don't know who Mio Honda is. But I don't know what YouTube does, you know, because you would think when YouTube was dominating the media in numbers, I mean, independent content creators were making more views than actual mainstream media channel, and the trend was going. Like, the trend was the fact that YouTube is going to overtake the media, especially in an age where most people didn't even have a television at home anymore. Like, people didn't own TVs, people just disconnected from cable. They just wanted to watch independent content creators. And what YouTube does is that they give, and this is public, like Susan Wojcicki said this in public, she gave news network authoritative source standard. So basically, if there's a news event, like whatever that is, and you look at in YouTube, even if my video would be the most popular, even if I were to make like 5 million views on that video, you would still get CNN that maybe has like 2,000, 3,000 views. They would be on top, right? And because of that, the media managed to come back. It almost died. Like, if you remember 2016, the media was losing and hemorrhaging viewers. It wasn't even funny. And because social media managed to have all of these backroom deals and talk, giving them priority creator standards, that is why the media made the comeback. So if you're asking me now, is YouTube going to take away the super chats? I don't know. You know, obviously they're not going to take it away from everyone, but what they can do is like, all right, well, this is a topic where we're not going to allow super chats. So if you talk about this, like, super chats are going to be canceled. It's a possibility. Another thing that they can do is that they can have like deals with a couple of creators. Like, for example, Gargura. Well, actually, Gargura doesn't talk about celebrity gossip. But let's say Nick Riqueta, right? They can make a backroom deal with Nick Riqueta and be like, okay, if you're covering this, we're paying you money. So there is different ways of handling it. I mean, I don't know. I haven't even seen the hit pieces yet. I know there's hit pieces coming. Like, you're going to get a Huffington Post opinion, MSNBC, you know, MSNBC hit piece and all of that. They're probably going to come, like the New York Times is going to make an article. Probably like 3 or 4 hit pieces within the couple of days. And I know that this is happening because some of my fellow YouTubers have already been contacted by the media to get sound bites, right? It's like, oh, we're writing this piece. How do you think? Like, where are you making your money from? You know? So they're coming. Like, they're writing the pieces. And will YouTube respond to it? I have no idea. I have no idea, no clue. But usually YouTube is responsive to the media. Like, I remember when BuzzFeed made an article calling Mi-chan, right? Mi-chan, Count Dankula, called him far-right. So one article, BuzzFeed calls Count Dankula far-right. The next day, Count Dankula loses his channel monetization. And the way it happened, it was like the BuzzFeed journalist contacted Count Dankula before he even knew he got demonetized and asked him, oh, so like, how's the status of your channel? Do you still have ads? Right? So the media and social media do work hand in hand behind the scenes. I mean, it's not even a closed secret. Like, they're openly admitting, like Facebook, for example, admits that, yeah, like we talk with representatives from the media in order to make sure that our platform is providing accurate information and blah, blah, blah. Hello, Effie. How's it going? And let me see if I got more info. People keep telling me that Mr. Obvious got hacked. I'm aware. I'll talk to him, but I'm talking about something else right now. This is the difficulty of streaming, right? Like, when you make a YouTube video, it's a lot easier. When you stream, you have to choose a topic. And you have two choices. Either you go with the chat, because the chat can take you in perilous and dangerous adventures. And then new people join the chat and it's like, why aren't you talking about what you said in the title? Like, I clicked to find what you said in the thumbnail and you talk about Mr. Obvious. But if you don't talk about Mr. Obvious, then people are like, but Mr. Obvious got hacked, V. Mr. Obvious, he got hacked. I know. I'll help him after the stream. if they want to know where your body comes from, obviously they will answer their own question first. You know, I have a video for tomorrow with the Southern Poverty Law Center going after Andy No, and they were like, "And where do you get your money from, Andy No? We notice you get your money from Subscribestar. Where else do you get your money from? And Andy No, do you know that this bad guy was reading your articles?" And Andy No responds, it's like, "Oh, Southern Poverty Law Center, where do you get your money from? We notice you get your money from overseas. Like, your money is coming from foreign nations. And look, this shooter went on and targeted the places that you mapped as a hate organization on your website. Like, why did this guy subscribe to you?" I mean, it's the best answer that he could have given. It's absolutely hilarious. It's going to be in my tomorrow video. Oh, yeah. The Southern Poverty Law Center. The thing that I love about it is that every single thing in their letters is a lie. Like, they hate Southerners. They're probably the richest nonprofit organization in the world, so they're not poor. You know, Southern poverty, right? So they hate Southerners. They're not poor. When it comes to law, they got sued several times and lost, so they broke the law. I guess like the only thing is that it's a center. You know, like so Southern is not true. Poverty is not true. Law is not true. But maybe it's a center. I don't know. Like, I have to look whether or not it's an actual center, because maybe that's false as well. I bet it's a line. I bet it's like the outer ring. Like, they're not at the center of shit. They're the outer ring. Maybe that. Oh, yeah, they hate the law as well. Yeah, I mean, they disagree with a lot of things that... they're all about the money. Yeah, no, they definitely seem like an organization that keeps wanting more and more money. Like, that's why they exist, right? To get donations. But yeah. It's not even that, they are spread out. Oh, I see. Are they spread out though? Like that, I actually need to know that. Because if they're spread out, I can make fun of that. Alright, give me a second so I can open the window, because it's like a freaking oven in here. It's the only thing that I hate about summer. The computer emanates a lot of heat. And because of that, it's getting really sweaty in here. Although, the reason I closed the window is because it was raining and the sound was very powerful. The Southern Poverty Law Center is just another PR rig for the Democrats. It's hard to debunk. I mean, when is the last time they carried water for the Republicans, you know? You do realize, like, a lot of these organizations is just carrying water for power. It's not like all the Democrats, obviously, but yeah, they do carry water for the people in power. I think, like, the SPLC basically just flat out denies the existence of black supremacists, or don't consider them as problematic, you know? So, yeah, it's not the organization is used to, it's not the organization that it used to be, let's put it like that. Make sure to like the stream so V doesn't make that whiny noise about not enough viewers. To be honest, if I keep getting like $30 per stream, like if I make $30 per stream, I'm really happy. I obviously, you know, it does affect you, because like the more viewers you have, it shows if you're entertaining or not. If people come back, it shows if you're doing a good job. So it's kind of like a quality control type of thing, but it's my fault, really, because I did my best, and I said this, like, I did my best in order to get rid of viewers, simply due to the fact that I don't want to have, like, the numbers that bring the ire upon your channel, right? So I did my best in order to not put thumbnails that are attracting people, not put interesting titles, not stream at regular hours. I deleted my streams, and I did my best, but I got rid of way too many people, so now I'm trying to build back up. I mean, I was having on this channel the Nazi vampire campaign, you know, like a World War II set in the what was the White Wolf IP, where, you know, we were role-playing as Nazis invading the Soviet Union, you know, all for the lulz, because it was like very edgy and out there. But I realized that that can get us into trouble, so I started lowering the number of people that watched, and now I'm building back better. Yes. $30, that's not much. I know, Vincent, I'm not greedy. Like, if I get $30 per stream, I'm really happy. Anyway, right, so the anti-feminist energy fueling the Johnny Depp misinformation campaign. I love the fact that, like, Amber Heard is considered to be a feminist. Like, she's fighting for women's rights or something. Every woman is a feminist now? I genuinely don't understand. Is there, like, a entry requirement? Or do you just say, oh, yes, I'm a feminist, and all of a sudden you get prestige? Like, can I consider myself an activist for Romanians everywhere? I guess, like, that's how it would be, right? Like, I'm an activist for Romanians everywhere, and if you're talking against me, you're actually attacking Romanians. You're not just attacking me as the person. Pretty much what they're going with, right? Like, it's, if you're disagreeing with Amber, you're disagreeing with women everywhere. So, the Depp Heard libel case, by the way, like, this was written, like, a couple of minutes before the verdict. Like, I genuinely don't know why they didn't wait before publishing it. It was like literally a couple of hours before the verdict, which is why I chose this article. So it gave us the most damning indictment of a dangerous, toxic content cycle, one that can be weaponized against women to a tremendous effect. After more than 600 of hours of questioning and testimony and breathless commentary from observers, the trial and Amber Heard is about to conclude. Here's €5. How many eggs can you buy with it? Man, not that many. Like, life is becoming more expensive even here in Romania. Inflation is a bitch. The last 6 weeks has been an unprecedented cultural spectacle, featuring an array of memes, punchlines, derisions, obsessive analysts, and outright hatred. Okay, so again, this is why I hate identity politics, right? They pretend that this didn't happen. Like, Brett Kavanaugh is literally what they've described. It was a couple of weeks during an unprecedented cultural spectacle featuring an array of memes, punchlines, derision, obsessive analyze, and outright hatred. This is what happened here. Okay? But we pretend, in order to play this game, we have to pretend that this never happened. And we have to pretend that this is because she's a woman and not because people just disagreed with her point of view. This is what identity politics does, right? So what is identity politics? Is I guess, like, a pseudoscience which considers that they have people figured out based on their birth. So based on the arbitrary characteristics of a person, we have figured out the human existence. That is what identity politics is. And basically they're saying, okay, well, because she's a woman, then she's a victim. Because he's a man, he is guilty. There is no other way, right? But rationalism and what creates fair societies is that we know there's individual cases. So in this particular case, Amber can be guilty. And in another case, another woman can be innocent. Like, this is why we actually take people to trial. Otherwise, we wouldn't even need to take people to trial. We could just look at their genetic makeup and go like, okay, innocent, guilty, innocent, guilty. You look at the color of their skin, you look at what's in their pants, you ask them how they identify. V Build Back Better strategy is more effective than Biden. I don't know, like, I would have to reach back 500 people. That's the number I left. So, oh, Billy is back. Someone give him a wrench. You guys can't give him a wrench. I'll give Billy a wrench. You know what? I'll wrench you later, Billy. Just wait. Just wait, I'll wrench you. It's kind of nice when you see people coming back, because I remember a couple of names, and even though I don't talk about it, like, I sometimes wonder, like, what happened to that person. Like, for example, Mentat. I don't see Mentat anymore, but I'm like, what happened with Mentat? You know, where is he now? So I think that when you're a streamer, like Billy making me read the Federalist Papers, I do remember things. Anyway, the case is no longer merely about Depp's claim that this op-ed defamed him, nor the counterclaim from Heard that tried to censor her spread false allegation. It has instead become a litigation of what defines a real abuser in violent toxic relationship. Okay, so basically what they're saying is that, nah, this is about identity politics. Like, stop hijacking it and making it about these people. It's about identity politics. It's not surprising that men's rights advocate, I haven't seen Karen Strawn get into this shit. Like, what the men's rights advocates, do these even exist, to be honest? I mean, I know a couple people that identify as MRAs, but I don't think they're even that significant. I don't think, like, they're an institution powerful enough that can change culture. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Like, I genuinely don't remember the last time I heard, like, okay, so the MRAs of America has issued a statement. Anti-feminist voices. Well, I mean, considering the great civil war within the feminist movement, where you have, like, TERFs and non-TERFs and, you know, like, all of that shit, I can see why feminism is weakened enough that anti-feminist voices can be heard. But again, like, anti-feminist voices, like, that can even mean J.K. Rowling at this point, right? Like, she's an anti-feminist voice. And conservative commentators. I love the fact that conservatives can't be MRAs or anti-feminists. Like, conservatives are a separate bunch. So they framed the trial as a referendum on male victimization and the apparent harms of believing women. Well, see, I don't understand, like, why it's believe women, right? Like, why it's not believe humans? Why do you have to believe half of the human population? So basically you're saying that half of the human population has to be believed by the other half at all times. That kind of puts it at a disadvantage, the other half of the population. But I want to show you something else, alright? Just so you can know where the believable women stuff came from. So during the Satanic Panic in the United States, which wasn't that long ago, it was in the 90s, alright? There was this Satanic Panic, and there were children claiming that at their school, there were witches and wizards, and someone kidnapped a child using a balloon, right? Like, all these type of things. So, the media created the thing, Believe the Children. And Believe the Children was an advocacy organized group by the parents involved in the preschool trial. It was founded in order to raise awareness on the satanic ritual abuse. Right? Now, I'm not saying that, I mean, I don't know, because I haven't watched this, okay? Like, I haven't seen the trial. I don't know what happened. Like, was there abuse or not? Probably. But definitely it wasn't satanic. Unless it was, like, people LARPing as Satan. I have no fucking idea. But, like, my point is that this concept, it's like you need to believe something without any shred of skepticism isn't new. And I'm willing to bet that the same people that talk now about, oh yes, believe all women, blah, 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 they would probably laugh at the concept of believe the children. They would laugh at the concept of the Satanic Panic. Now, it's not that, like, here's the thing with, like, believing people. There are people that I know in my life, usually friends, that have established a level of credibility with me, right? Like, if someone that's a friend of mine comes up and tells me something, based on what I know about that person, I may or may not believe them. And then you also have, like, people that bring evidence. Like, the reason I bring John is that he had audio recordings. People that even at least bring some circumstantial evidence. They bring witnesses to collaborate, to do all of these things. You're willing to believe them. But a person that I've never known, I don't know who the fuck Amber Heard is. I'm not her friend. You know, and at the end of the day, her life doesn't even affect me, right? Like, this is just entertainment for me. It's entertainment for the masses. You're watching the TV, like, every single person doing this is like watching celebrity gossip. Celebrity gossip is there to entertain people. It's not life-changing. It's not creating a new experience. Should you believe V? No, you shouldn't believe me. Why the fuck should you believe me? Why would you believe me, chat? Unless, like, you personally talk to me, unless you talk in my DMs. But even then, I guess it depends on the claim that I make, right? So if I were to make a claim that my computer broke, I would have no reason to lie. Like, yeah, sure, you can believe something like that. But if I were to make a claim that Johnny Depp personally thanked me for my coverage of his trial, I mean, of course you're not going to believe me. You're going to want some evidence. Like, you're going to say, well, V, if that happened, where's the thing? Like, where the receipt? Right? If I were to claim that I built a gazebo, Billy wouldn't believe me. Because he knows that I'm not into gazebo building. Like, he would want a picture. He would want some evidence. Like, that's what a normal, healthy human person does. I mean, the idea that you need to believe women, right? First of all, the media doesn't believe women. There are articles, if you Google white women tears, and it's about white women, according to the press, using their female privilege in order to accuse black people of doing crimes so that they get in trouble with the cops. And before that, you used to have, like, white women accusing black people of falsely raping them so that they can get the person lynched. Like, all of this is from the media. That's from what I know. I know this from Cenk Uygur. The White Lies, I think the segment was called. Right? So the media doesn't believe women. Secondly, I know people who had a sister. Like, I personally didn't have one. But, like, there are people who have a sister. And the sister would go to the parents crying, saying that her brother spanked her. And the brother didn't. But, she would go crying because she would know that mommy and daddy would punish the brother, right? So, like, she had power over the brother. Even though she was younger, like, less capable of getting in an altercation with the brother, but she had power over him. I mean, it's the same thing in the Tom and Jerry cartoons. Like, there's so many episodes where Jerry manages to, like, get a bell or something which calls the dog. And Jerry just cries to the dog for help, even though, like, Tom didn't do anything. Like, that's inspired, like, that's relatable. It's relatable to the young audience watching the cartoons who have a sibling who do the same thing. Like, they go lying to the parent, and, you know, the parent believes the child once, twice, 3 times, and then realizes that, oh, well, the child is being abusive. Like, you can do a different level of abuse when you personally don't get in a physical altercation, you personally don't bully your sibling, but you can use the parent who is a lot more powerful to bully the sibling for you. And this is what we're seeing. Like, this is exactly, you know, it started from the toxic culture of Hollywood with casting couches and people taking advantage of their position in order to get women. Although there was a more important conversation to be had there. But fine, you know, like, so they're using their power in order to get women, right? That's how it started. And then it went from that to all sorts of bizarre accusations. Like, for example, the most bizarre Me Too story that I have ever heard was the one Angry Joe got involved in. So, according to some lady who tried to get Angry Joe canceled, because, like, there was, like, this series of Me Too accusations on Twitch. And you would know the pattern. Like, the person doing the accusation would target a big streamer, and all of a sudden they would get massive clout. Like, all the spotlights were on them. They would have hundreds of followers, hundreds of new subscribers, right? So a lot of people did that. And one of them targeted Angry Joe, and her story was that she hit on Angry Joe. Like, she contacted him and talked to him in DMs and was flirty. And eventually Angry Joe invited her at a convention. So Angry Joe then introduces her, like, to his circle of friends, right? Like, helps her network to grow her channel. And he gets very upset when he finds out that she has a boyfriend, right? Like, she leads him on. He introduces her to all of his contacts, all of his friends, right? And when he invites her to his hotel room, she goes like, oh, no, sorry, I have a boyfriend. To which point, Angry Joe gets upset. It's like, oh, okay, so you're just taking advantage of me, right? Like, obviously, probably this happened in the past. He goes like, okay, so you're taking advantage of me. And then he interrupts any type of conversation. Like, he refuses to talk with her. He refuses to message her. Like, he blocks her. And she considers that to be a violation. Like, she feels that she has been wronged, right? And now and that's her Me Too. Like, literally, that's her Me Too. That's basically saying, like, yeah, I'm the same like a person being abused. And I'm reading that, and I'm like, what the fuck? You know, how did we get to this? How did we get to this? Like, she is basically getting cocked by Angry Joe. Like, he's like, okay, I'm not interested in you anymore. And because he said that, like, that's a problem. Like, I need to be outraged over Angry Joe for saying that. And then there was another one, also a very bizarre accusation. I think it was the guild master of some World of Warcraft guild. Like, pretty famous guy. I think it was Method. It was one of the US top guilds. And he moved with a girl in a new apartment. Now, I don't know why or how did it come to be, but basically, like, they rented this space and they decided to live together, right? So, they were sleeping in the same bed, and he tried cuddling her, and she said no, right? So like, he tried to hit on her, and she didn't want to. So, he stopped, like, when she said, don't touch me, he stopped. And then the next day, he decided to sleep on the couch and was very distant towards her, right? And then asked her to pay for rent. And when he asked her to pay for rent, she was like, oh my God, like, I feel like he's pressuring me now because like, I don't have money to pay for rent and blah, blah, blah. And then I'm thinking, like, okay, look, a father wouldn't have a son in his house without this conversation sparking. Like, a man wouldn't have his own son in his house after the son is of a specific age if he's not contributing to the bills, right? So what the guy was asking was completely legitimate. It's like, all right, so you don't want to be his girlfriend? Pay the fucking rent. Like, he's not hitting on you. He's not pushing you up against the wall. He's not telling you to sleep on the couch. He's even sleeping on the... Pay the fucking rent. But like, having this mindset is bad, right? Like, the Me Too accusation was that he had the audacity to hit on her, right? Like, he is the one that initiated. So because of that, even though he stopped, right? So this is how the movement, I guess, transcended into. And with the Twitch shit, that's when YouTube puts the regulation. It's like, no, you're not allowed to talk about sex scandals anymore because your content gets demonetized, right? Because it went to that level. And I want to say, like, I don't want Me Too to go away. I mean, you look at the people targeted, some of the most prominent male feminists got hit by it. Democrats got hit by it. You got journalists, CEOs, all the people in the establishment getting hit by it. I haven't seen, like, my friends getting hit by it. I haven't got hit by it. Honestly, I don't care. I don't care. I want this to keep going. Like, keep it up. You notice Hollywood silently dropping feminism? You notice the Democrats silently dropping feminism? It's all about black people now. It's all about... Actually, it's not even about black people. You're going to see in a video that I'm making. Like, with Joe Biden, a lot of black people are running away from the White House. There's a massive exodus. Why? Because the Democrats promised the black community representation. And instead, they gave them, like, a couple of positions at the White House where they didn't get to do anything. Like, their whole job was to sit there and be black. So, black people noticed this, and now they're leaving the White House. So, what does Joe Biden do? He's now promoting Asians. Like, he's now doing K-pop and shit. He moved to the next demographic. I didn't hit the mic. I accidentally bumped into it. I've noticed a decrease in the amount of corpo logo changes this year. Are we seeing the tide shift? Yeah, I do think that there is a tide shift when it comes to corporations pandering to the LGBT community for two reasons, right? First of all, I want to make absolutely sure that people understand my position. I think that individuals can support the cause, right? So, like, for example, if you're Alex or Jane and you support the LGBT movement, I believe you, okay? Like, if you pick up the rainbow flag as an individual, I believe you. I don't believe corporations. The only reason a corporation should be able to like have the only reason a corporation has political views is because they view them as profitable. A corporation only cares about making money, nothing else, right? Other things that a corporation cares about, obviously, can be protecting their brand, putting out a good product, but at the end of the day, it's just to make more money for their shareholders. So when a corporation puts on a rainbow logo, it can even look like this. Like, it can even look like this. I mean, look at this, right? The Umbrella Corporation, Rainbow, Skynet, OCP, LexCorp, Wayland Yutani. Right? Like, and you may say, hold on a little bit, V. That's an exaggeration. Motherfucker, let me show you something. Okay? Let me show you something. This is legit. Okay? This is legit. I'm not making this up. Like, this is actually from the official U.S. Marines Twitter account. I mean, the military is now pro-LGBT. So when they're shooting people in the Middle East, they're firing rainbow bullets. Why? Is it because the Marines don't shoot straight? Like, what really bothers me the most about this is that identity politics is is completely toxic for the military. Because at the military, they try to break you, right? Like, they try to rob you of your identity. In fact, at the Marines, they would say, you're not black anymore, you're not white, you're all green, you're green Marines, right? Like, you're a fighting unit. Like, you're a killing machine. That's what the military is supposed to be. As the people from Ukraine found out, it's a very important thing to have in certain situations. So when you do this, you're weakening the military. Like, you're not raising the combat effectiveness. And it looks really bizarre, right? Because, like, on one hand, you want the rainbow to be viewed as, like a symbol of love, caring, compassion. We're talking about soldiers. They kill people. I mean, cut the bullshit. This is what soldiers do. They go like, oh, well, it's about defending our nation. Yeah, they kill people. That's why you can't join the military if you're not willing to pull the trigger. It's part of the job. Thank you, Zenith. How upset would you be if I make a rainbow logo for you? I would probably use it. Why the fuck not? I just want to show you something else, okay? Why you should never believe corporations. Keynesian markets don't adapt to circumstances. And meanwhile, the BMW market, I don't know why they like the number 5 so much. Or is this the number 6? I can't tell. But there's plenty of examples of corporations doing this. I mean, even today you have corporations that in the Middle East, they don't advertise. So, okay, why are corporations deciding to avoid, putting the rainbow flag now? So it's for 2 reasons. Number one, it is the thing that happened with Disney. Like, they do notice that there is a cultural shift. And a lot of people are fed up with this shit. But a second reason is that they noticed with Netflix and they noticed with other companies like EA Games recently that there are things that are profitable, but their own employees are walking out based on ideological reason, preventing the company from making money. So in the case of Netflix, you have Dave Chappelle. You have another comedian, I forgot his name, came out recently, made a couple of jokes, right? And the employees, they're the ones going out doing walkouts. Ricky Gervais. They're the ones like saying, no, we're going to boycott the company, blah, blah, blah. And in the case of EA Games, you have the company having its employees walking out saying that, if you don't make a statement about LGBT issues, we're doing a walkout, right? So basically it looks like this. This is how it looks like. This is Pride Month during corporate America. Like, I, as a viewer, do not believe anymore that the companies legitimately care about these issues. Instead, I think that they're held hostage by the gatekeepers, by the higher-ups, or is the market pressure that they have to do this? You know, so I'm just saying this is an image that's worth 1,000 words. Give me 1 second so I can fix the chat a little bit. Is blasphemy? I don't know. But like this is what Tim Pool also said. He said that he went to Portland and he noticed that every single store had a Marxist saying on it. You know, like something that Engels or Marx said. You know, just as a quote on the window. And he went into this restaurant, started talking with the owner, and the owner of the restaurant eventually said, "Okay, I'm actually not a left-leaning, you know, like I'm a right-wing person." And Tim Pool was a little bit surprised, you know. It did make sense in a way, like if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a business owner, like you're not a leftist. You know, because you want less taxes, you want less taxation, you want less regulations. So he asks, like, okay, but if you're not a leftist, why do you have that sign in front? You know, it's a Marxist quote. And the owner says, well, because if I don't put it, they're going to break my windows. So that's why they do it, right? Because like if you're the store that doesn't, like in a world where everyone pledges allegiance, you know, if you're the guy that doesn't salute, you're the problem. And the issue with this is that you don't know who actually is showing allegiance versus who's just doing it out of fear. It is what it is. I was in the 3rd Infantry, you are correct. Well, why, thank you. How do I know these things without actually being in the military myself? If you want to know the secret, is that these things are common fucking sense. Like, you don't need to actually... This is another thing that I notice a lot of people on the internet go, it's like, oh, study, do you have a study? Do you have a study? Can you prove? Can you show? Can you demonstrate? Like, sometimes, you know, things are common sense. Like, you don't need a study. Fucking hell. Alright. I mean, I just want to point out that this meme is now becoming reality. I just want to point out that this is no longer a meme. Like, this has actually transcended memology, and it's into the land of the real. I guess like this is pretty much how all of this is going to die out. Like, it's the same with the ESG scores, right? Like when everyone is doing ESG scores, no one is doing ESG scores. When everyone is displaying the rainbow flag, then the rainbow flag doesn't matter. Common sense is number one. I mean, it's not just that, you know, like there's another thing that I guess like certain people on the internet pretend it doesn't exist, but there is intuition, right? So human knowledge can be separated into several categories. Things that you don't know, things that you know and can explain, and things that you know and can't explain. So for example, if someone asks you, like, when is it okay to kiss a girl for the first time, right? You're not going to be able to tell them. It's like, okay, well, this is when, this is the moment, this is a... But if you're in that situation, you feel it, right? Like, it's the intuition. It's like, okay, now's the moment. Another better example, my God, my nose is itching so much. I want to apologize for scratching. But this... I'm pretty sure, like, a lot of guys experience this, right? Like, a lot of guys are either on one side or on the other of the debate. You're a teenager and you notice that women don't like you. So you go to another guy, right? You go to a friend of yours, which manages to be very popular with the ladies. And you ask him, okay, what are you doing? Like, how are you this popular? How do you attract women? And he doesn't know how to explain it. Like, he can't explain. He can't articulate it. He doesn't know how to explain it to you, right? He does it, but he can't explain it. And you can be on both sides of the argument. You can be the guy that actually was a teenager with a lot of girls, a lot of feminine attention, and you couldn't explain it. So this is another thing that I was getting to. Just because a person can't explain something doesn't mean that they don't necessarily know it or that that thing doesn't exist. Like, just because you can't give an accurate definition, mathematical definition of something, doesn't mean that that thing is not correct. Try doing the opposite, see what happens. Yeah, but this is what I was trying to go with. Like, for example, I'm not in the military. I've never served. But I can see that some things are bad because of intuition. Like, you intuitively figure out, okay, well, is this helping people become better soldiers? No? Well, maybe you shouldn't do it. Like, the last thing you want to fuck with is the military. I'm just saying, like, there are a couple of things that you don't want to fuck with. If you want to, the consequences are there, right? Like, if you fuck with the cops, you're going to get higher crime. If you fuck with the firefighters, you're going to get more fire. If you fuck with the soldiers, hopefully, you're not going to find out what happens. Like, hopefully, you're not going to realize. But if you fuck with the soldiers, weakness invites aggression. That is the truth when it comes to international politics. Give me a second. I need to scratch my nose. God damn it. So, there is this saying that human beings are rational, but masses are irrational. Like, group of people are irrational. The mob is irrational. The nation state is irrational. Individuals are rational. So, in the international politics, in the international field, weakness invites aggression. If a nation is weak, it's going to invite aggression. You want your army to look strong and to look like it's badass, so that people don't fuck with you. That's the only thing. If your army looks weak, then you get aggression. Why do you think, like, Russia invaded Ukraine? Because when they went into Crimea, everyone surrendered and everyone ran away. So they assume that it's the same thing that's going to happen when they go into Ukraine. This could have been avoided. Like, if Ukraine had a nuclear missile, Russia wouldn't have gotten into it. That's what it means. Weakness invites aggression. If you're weak, then you're going to get invaded. So in order to prevent war, you need to show that you have strength. This is unwritten. It's a thing that existed throughout human history. I know maybe it shouldn't be this way. You can even find it by playing fucking video games. You play Civ. If you play Civ and you want to have, like, okay, let's do a cultural victory, right? And you neglect your army, you're going to get invaded. Makes sense. I don't know. I don't think I'm saying anything just bizarre. Yeah, it's natural law as well. It's even like done with experiments, but the experiments that have been done are a little different. So there was this experiment in Germany. I forgot the name of it. But what they did is, like, they got people to pretend that they're prisoners and people to pretend that they're guards. And they put them in a prison and they allowed this to continue for a couple of weeks. And what ended up happening is that the guards became very abusive and the prisoners became very subversive. Because, like, the prisoner showed weakness and this encouraged the guards to be even more abusive. I miss this energy from your YouTube vids. Don't I have this energy on my main channel? I think I keep this energy on my main channel. It's also due to the fact that I do have a interesting topic now. The CPU are totally aware of your anime value. The AI cheats. It's not all of that. It's like the AI tries to win the game, and it realizes that, okay, well, if my opponent has a low army, then I can win the game by attacking him right now when he has no army. Like, why would the AI, like, if you're, let's say you're going for a cultural victory and you have, like, a lot of points in culture and the AI can't keep up with that, why would it try for a cultural victory when it can just invade you? Like, why would the AI, because, like, the AI is losing the game at that point, right? Like, you're dominating the AI scientifically, culturally. The AI can realize, okay, but if I invade him, I don't get dominated. So I don't lose the game. And it makes sense, right? Like, it's logical. Money for daddy. Thank you, subject to change. Oh shit. See, this is what I've been saying. When you do live streaming, you have the chat taking you in weird directions. Because I completely forgot about the article that I was supposed to read. And why on earth is my nose itching to this level? I don't know what's happening, but it's bizarre. I'm going to scratch my nose so hard after this. Okay, my bad. Here we go. So men's rights advocates and anti-feminist and conservative. I hate the concept that Amber Heard was elected as a feminist representative. Like, there are so many women that are against her. Again, I said this and I will keep saying it because it's true and I want you guys to say it as well. I can show you stats if you want. But like, there's so many YouTubers that decided to cover the Amber trial, which is celebrity gossip. And guess who likes celebrity gossip? Teenage girls. So a lot of teenage girls subscribe to YouTubers who cover the trial. Like, they noticed a major subscriber increase because of it. And what ended up happening, like, all these women are siding with Johnny. And by the way, it kind of makes sense. I mean, women like a charismatic man. Like, Johnny Depp has a massive female fan base. If 5 years ago Johnny Depp would have had like okay, it's kind of like PewDiePie. Like, this is why people hated the media. Like, a lot of women hated the media at the time when they attacked PewDiePie. Like, when PewDiePie went and had a I think it was like his first real life meetup. Let me see if I can show you. So PewDiePie meetup. I am paying for this VTube, not YouTube. Oh, I should have had my VTube avatar on. All right. Yeah. Look here. Look here, you bigot. Look. Okay? So, PewDiePie goes and meets people in real life. Look how diverse his fans are. And look how many women. And by the way, like, this is not even a good picture. Because there's other pictures where you can see how hot the girls are that like PewDiePie. This is like before he got married, right? I need to. But this is reality, right? Like, men attract women. I know it's astonishing, right? But especially popular men. Like, women like men that are popular. So, musicians, YouTubers, streamers, Tucker Carlson, you know? Like, if you're a man that manages to get a crowd, you're going to have a lot of women. Johnny Depp is far more popular than Amber. Of course he's going to have a lot of women. So, yeah, there's a lot of women on the side of Johnny. And not to mention because women know how manipulative other women can be. Like, a woman interacts with more women. Right? Because they have more women friends. They spend more time with women. They're women themselves. So they know. You can find endless videos of commentators laughing at clips of Heard's graphic testimony, calling it the worst performance of her career. Yeah, like, people didn't believe it. And by the way, this is what the media did with Kavanaugh. Like, when Kavanaugh cried, the media said, oh, that's a performance. When Kyle Rittenhouse cried, the media was like, oh, that's a performance. This is what the media does, but now that it's on the other foot. And I don't even know if it's on the other foot, to be honest. I don't even know if it's on the other foot. It's just like another example, you know, where people just don't believe that. There are compilations on YouTube and TikTok. Like, this is why I found this article to be interesting. So this article came out before the trial, before the verdict was in, and they're attacking YouTube and TikTok. I don't think this is about Amber. I think this is, as I mentioned in the beginning, the fact that YouTube and TikTok is getting more views than the media, and they view it as competition. Online forums popular with young men are rife with misogynistic insults and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, this doesn't hold. Again, there's many women. In fact, let me rephrase. I'm not even saying there's many women. I can't find a single non-blue checkmark person that supports Amber Heard. Where are they? Unironically, I'm not even making it up. I couldn't find a person that supports Amber Heard. I'm not saying they don't exist, but like they're so freaking rare. If I, as a person with 150,000 subscribers on my main channel, cannot find a single Amber Heard supporter, men or women, I'm a doctor of grifting. Maybe I should get a job at CNN. After 6 weeks, what we're left with is a trial that can no longer tell us anything useful. The trial isn't there to tell you useful, okay? Like, you're not the jury. It doesn't matter what people talk around the trial. This is entertainment for people. It's celebrity gossip. The fact that you care so much about it makes me think you have alternative motives. There is nothing to glean about how an ugly lawsuit can sharpen the hatred or how it rehumanizes people. Yeah, now they're talking about the hatred. When Johnny Depp lost his job, when he was banned from playing in the Pirates of the Caribbean, I didn't see it's like, oh, this is an attack on men, this is blah, blah, blah. No one gave a shit. When he got hatred from fellow actors and blue checkmarks and the media, no one gave a shit. But suddenly, I need to care because the media cares about Amber, right? So if the media cares, I gotta care as well. And they go on, and they talk about Gamergate, and they talk about this, which I can't say on YouTube. And it's like, dude, you're telling me that all these organizations that you're afraid of care about celebrity gossip rather than, politics? And you're not happy about it. Okay. V, you need to go to the Nick Riccietta School of Grifting to truly learn how to grift. I don't know if Nick is a grifter. I think he actually provides good content. I mean, think about it. During the Rittenhouse case, he had, I believe, 6 legal experts, and they were discussing the case. So, I don't believe that what he is doing is a grifting. I think that Nick actually puts a better product than the media. That's why people are watching him. It's like, I couldn't find a single news outlet which showed the Kyle Rittenhouse trial without any sort of interruption, like from top to bottom, and just have like legal representatives comment on the side. Like, that is a new type of content that Nick invented. I guess it would be as if, like someone goes through a surgery and I would get like 3 or 4 other doctors that I would discuss about the surgery. That's pretty much what Nick did. Like, he created an entire new branch of YouTube videos. This didn't exist before him. So yeah, he deserves everything that he is getting. 140,000 people watching live. Biggest live stream number that I have seen on YouTube, to be honest. I'm pretty sure there's more, but to me, it was impressive. Oh, I think this article actually does mention Nick. Criminal defense lawyers. Who are they talking about? Just the way you like it. The DUI guy. Okay, so they're not mentioning Nick. So they're saying, okay, so this ecosystem consists of everyone from random criminal defense lawyers to World of Warcraft players, failed singer-songwriters, anti-woke, nerd culture, blah, blah, blah. So they're saying, like, everyone is talking about the trial, and no shit, like, Google Trending showed that people cared about Amber Heard trial more than any other topic for the last week. Like, it had over 500,000 searches. Yeah, like, people wanted to see more of this. It's entertaining. It's celebrity gossip. Why are you complaining about? Researchers have found an army of bots. Get the fuck out. I refuse to believe that people have this amount of money to spend on an army of bots. To do what exactly? Like, the jury is the only one that matters. Alright? Like, I don't think the jury is watching World of Warcraft players talk about the lawsuit. And if they are, I mean, prove it. And that's probably what Amber is trying to do. Like, she's going to file for an appeal. But still, why is the media so concerned about what we think about some random celebrity? Does Amber care about me? Oh, look, they're mentioning... Oh, my God. They're mentioning Sargon of Akkad. Holy shit. I didn't notice this. The media is determined to help her look as victim-y as possible. Carl Benjamin, the Gamergate conspiracist. You are the conspiracy. You believe that there is an international cabal of people that are conspiring against Amber Heard with the purpose, with the sole fact that they hate women. You are the conspiracist. An anti-feminist commentator who had been booted off Twitter and YouTube for hate speech. Carl never got booted off YouTube for hate speech. He's still on YouTube. He never got 3 strikes. He never had his channel taken down. Oh my god. Hold on, I need to show him this. I need to show him this. You know what? I'll probably invite him on Sunday in order to have a talk. And we're going to discuss this article because it's just... They mention you, Carl. Oh man, let me... Hold on, maybe I can get a reaction from him in real time. I'm sending him this article because I didn't know they're going to mention him. But it's so freaking hilarious. Yeah, this is literally disinformation. I know that the media likes to use getting banned from social media as a rap sheet, as a criminal record. It's like, oh my god, he got banned from Twitter and blah, blah, blah. He didn't get booted off YouTube. And I love the fact, like Carl Benjamin is an anti-feminist. Okay, so he's married, he's got children, he's living a healthy life, and he's a millionaire, and he has a business where he employs other women. How is that a bad thing? Like, you're just showing that you can be a good person and you can have a happy life and be an anti-feminist. Again, like, he is happily married, he's got children, one of them is a daughter. He has a business where he employs other women. He's not an abuser, never got me too'd. There are feminists that got me too'd. A lot of male feminists have got me too'd. A lot of male feminists have been in front of the jury, and the judge and the jury found them guilty. So, if anything, like, this shows me that you can be an anti-feminist, and you can still be a good person. The comedian and podcaster who champion far-right voices like Tim Pool. Like, this is ridiculous. Tim Pool is a far-right voice. If Tim Pool is far-right, how would you consider, I don't know, David Duke? The media cares what we think because the court of public opinion matters. Yeah, but like, at this level, like, are they going to micromanage every little thought that you have? Like, again, this is... If they care so much about celebrity gossip, imagine how much they care about politics. Imagine how much they care about things that actually matter. If they are so freaked out over the fact that you care about something that is inconsequential at the end of the day and you're going to forget about it in 2 weeks anyway, just imagine how much they dedicate in order to get you to care about the things that they want you to care about. Yes, Tim Civil War Pool. I guess when you put it that way, he does sound a little bit edgy. I wonder, like, I wish I had the time machine to find out if there is another civil war and go after it just to see what Tim Pool is going to talk about. Like, what will Tim Pool talk about if there is a civil war after it happens? Like, or no, like, send Tim Pool in the past, so send him in the past after the American Civil War just so we can see, like, what he's going to talk about. That's why they use celebrities to promote politics. It's not like they're running out of celebrities, man. It's not like Amber Heard is the only celebrity that they can find. It's not that there's not other women celebrities. It's not to mention, if they say, oh, well, like Amber Heard is now going to prevent other women from stepping up. Didn't Harvey Weinstein got convicted? Like, aren't there other cases where the man went to prison? Like, criminal charges and whatnot? Like, it's not like, oh, well, because Amber didn't manage to win, that's a blow for women everywhere. if anything, like, we know that women are claiming, yeah, we know you're full of shit, and what you're doing is actually going to coin the phrase, are you ambering people? You know, like, you're going to have someone make a claim, and it's like, oh, is that claim real, or are you ambering? Take into account that, again, there have been, like, so many hoaxes recently. Like, almost every single major hate crime that I can remember that the news media pumped up ended up being a hoax. Starting from the poop swastika all the way to the Juicy Smollett story. Like, there have been just so many hoaxes. Notice how, like, with Smollett, they're not even trying. Like, with Smollett, they're like, okay, you know, this is why I believe that this is about numbers. This is why I believe that the media is upset that people are tuning into TikTok videos rather than them. Because with Juicy Smollett, it's literally the same thing. Juicy came on and he said that he got attacked by Trump supporters. Turns out he didn't. Loses the trial, right? And the media doesn't care. The media doesn't say anything. And Juicy also was the subject of memes and blah, blah, blah. Dimple has a chicken farm. He does. He makes a lot of money with that fucking chicken farm. I think he made like $3 grand in a month. It is the most low effort content you can imagine. Like, he literally just allows the cameras to roll while the chickens are in the background. And he made something like $3 grand. That is brilliant. That is just, I would have never thought about it. Like, I it's insane. Imagine if he makes a cow farm as well. Well, if Juicy goes to prison, he's going to be in the same jail cell with his attacker, so maybe that's why the judge is showing a little bit of leniency. It's like, okay, well, let's make sure he's really guilty before we throw him in, because he might be sharing a jail cell with his own attacker. Yeah, his neighbor is a mile away. You know, like, people just don't want to understand. I think, like, a lot of people in the chat are savages. Like, I genuinely think that if you were to live in a place with neighbors, you'd actually have chickens and you would be the worst neighbor in the neighborhood and people would hate you. Like, I don't know, like, it's almost like you never grew up in a community where other people are next to you. Like, raising chickens, either you don't know what it means or you're, like, literally that inconsiderate towards other people. Besides the fact that chickens are noisy, they smell, they destroy the fauna, like the flora, sorry. It's not even like, I don't even have the place where I could hold them. It's just, whatever, you know. I'm not even going to go into it. I do notice you, Severian Knox. Alright, let me give a wrench to Billy. Hopefully Billy is going to come more often, because I miss his working class takes, getting me to read the Federalist Papers. What a bad man you are, Billy. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this live stream. I will talk with Sargon. Hopefully I'm going to get him on Sunday, and we can go through this article with him. It's going to be funny. And well, I heard the yes. What kind of chaos chickens are you imagining destroying the fauna? No, I said flora. I corrected myself. See, like, I misspoke. Normally I would edit this out of the video. Well, I think Billy came back because I finished playing Resident Evil 2. That's why. Anyway, right. Thank you guys for being here. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Take care.